And here we go. What's happening, everybody? Today is Friday, January 27th. We're going to do a little track feedback. We're going to do a little sound design. I'm going to show you some racks and see about uploading them to our group folder if you want to play with these sounds. So while I'm waiting for people to come in, let's start off with the fun stuff. I want to show you a project I started yesterday. It's kind of a deep house track. And there goes my broadcast thing. Cool. So I've been doing this thing at my kitchen table. I'm calling it Kitchen Table Beats. I brought a laptop into the living room with the couch. I have an APC 25 controller and a mouse and headphones. And it's a challenge to myself to just play with live, do totally new things, break all my own rules, put together a track while I'm hanging out in the kitchen, and make beats the way I used to when I first started making tracks and I didn't have a studio. I just had my one room. There was like a bedroom and the kitchen room. The kitchen had everything in it, turntables, speakers, records, and whatever synths or whatever we had. So I was in there with my MPC 2000 and my headphones, sampling records, making beats, waiting for my spaghetti to cook or whatever. I started doing that again this January, and it is really fun. It is so exciting to just like have Ableton and headphones and do what I can do with the mouse and the little keyboard thing. So I want to show you first off this kick drum sound I've been making with the high frequency effects on here. One of the rules I've always had forever is like, don't put reverb on the kick drum because it makes the drum mix all muddy. And that's true, but when you know what you're doing and you can make a good mix, then playing with the kick drum and adding some effects can be a cool sound design feature to lead towards a build-up. So let me just demonstrate what we're doing. I'm adding a high frequency layer, okay? That's the high frequency layer. And listen to what happens when you tweak the reverb in here. To make something like a drop. I'm going to do that again with maybe, I'll cut the synths. So here it is with the kick drum and beats. I'm going to unmute the high frequency kick drum layer and dial in the reverb to make a kind of a build-up. Wait for it to come around. 2, 2, 3, 4, here. There comes the kick reverb. Or I could even do it like this. So it's a subtle effect that becomes part of the riser and gives you this crackly fun thing. And when the reverb is not there, what's happening with the kick drum highs is, let's see, here's the highs channel, just to show you what's going on. First off, let me bypass these in order. I like to go backwards and show you where I started with the rack. So I set up an EQ for the low end. And that's like some basic kick drum EQ kind of sound. And the second chain, this is a high shelf boost. Everything else is cut below it. So that's EQing out everything, just putting the highs in there. I added some filter drive. With some LFO modulation on that filter frequency. I'll make that really exaggerated so you can hear it. And I'm putting that filter frequency around 2K where the click on the hi-hat is. I mean the click on the kick drum. So I'm kind of accentuating the kick drum click right here. Polyverse wider for some stereo field. That's getting interesting. And then when I add the reverb, let's get that down to a shorter decay time. Even like 1% reverb is kind of noticeable. So we're kind of playing with like kick drum layering to make a kick layer with some high frequency click to make that shiny thing on top. Hey Scott, what's happening? I'm doing a little sound design with kick drum. Split it into 2 layers to get a clicky top layer. Tim Laws, how you doing? And just with the kick and the bass drum, it sounds kind of like this. Here's just kick and sub. And there's some reverb on the kick drum to make it kind of spacious. I played around with breaking the rules about putting reverb on kick drum and layering it together. Then in the low bus group, I went into drum bus and a high pass filter at 45 hertz to just kind of focus the lows. So first question for you guys. In our shared Google Drive folder, would you like this kick drum instrument? It's a basic drum rack with one sample that's just like a kick drum sample, and going into this effect rack, which is splitting it where one layer of the kick has a low EQ, the other layer has this high, wide split kind of thing. And I could pack this up as a little rack to share if you want that. So let me know about that. I think I'll probably just do that anyway. And it's going to have to be, since there's an audio sample, it's going to be a live pack, but I could share this effect rack as just a kick splitter. Maybe that would be the best way to do it so you don't have to download the pack high freak effects. So that might be kind of fun. And the other fun thing I did in this track was I made these risers with resampling some static effects. So to start off with, I downloaded some crackle samples that were just like effects. Why is that not playing? Crackle is going here. It's going there. Audio to crackle group, right? That's weird. And the end result was like this. So I layered a bunch of 3 different samples, left and right. Did some clip automation where these are modulating with like filters and pan position and stuff. And the fun part is they change over time to make like a 16-bar loop in the track, or even a 32-bar loop where it goes through a build-up and has the little tails and stuff kind of looping. So like this one, you hear the end of the loop at the beginning of the start, and then it comes through on 17. So let me play through that in a scene and listen to what this riser thing is doing. It starts off like that. Hey, Matt Schultz, how you doing? Matt, you might like this. I made some effects crackle synth static into risers. So it's coming in right now on channel 14. And I love these because they give you a signal every 16 bars that on bar 17 you can change something else. AFL in the house. Driving in the car. All right, be careful driving. So now this is gonna loop again, and listen to what happens when it loops. So at bar 25, it comes in, that's gonna be an 8-bar riser happening. And then when it comes back to loop, the tail of the riser is at the beginning of the loop. So that we get this effect of a riser coming up and passing over the 8-bar bar line. And then I got some little ping pong delay happening. And I did a few of those. I made another 32-bar one where it kind of crescendos around the halfway point, and most of it happens after the loop. So in terms of song structure, when you're doing sound design, make your sounds like a 16-bar audio file or even 32 bars. So when you play it, it just goes on a long cycle and kind of fades in, something happens in the track, and you can like play with the new sound or whatever at the moment when beat loops. So maybe when this comes around to 17, I'll go up here and drop this new top loop in. And we get that effect of like a new sound coming in and kind of growing out of the riser. So that's what I've been playing around with, but now we got some people in here, and we're coming over to Discord. Before I start doing track feedback, here's a quick question. Is anybody interested in hanging out on Discord voice channels for our Friday meetups? We could go down to the bottom here, click into MXT Hangouts, And if you're interested in activating your camera and mic, talking, having a conversation, sharing some of your own sounds, and doing track feedback in kind of a direct live way, I think that might be fun. That means that you could screen share a session, show a piece of audio you're playing, show a track you're working on, and tell us about it. Then we could all listen, and you could get feedback from more than just me on YouTube. I think that might be a fun direction to go in, but I'm not sure if anybody else is set up to do that, if you want to do that or if you don't. So while we are thinking about that, let's listen to some house tracks. We're going to go into house up here, Canada Patience version 3. Let's see what we got. EQ flat, stereo wide, on mute. Let's start from the beginning. There's my broadcast level. And let me save this session and open up my feedback and live.
Biding my time, biding my time, biding my time, biding my time. I'm patient. Biding my time, I'm patient. Before I slow down, but man, I've been waiting for a bird on migration. Find a train that never left station. Now she wants share information. So frustrating. That's why man, I done dating. Y'all get vexed on a range tank them. We're just talking.
Vocal sounding great.
I'll start walking. It's not my time, you're stalking.
I'm gonna check in mono. It almost feels like the bass line has some stereo image, but maybe not. I like the synth motion and the dynamic bubbling kind of synth feel. And Scott, we had a couple comments about low end mixing yesterday.
So frustrating.
What I like in this track is the kick drum. The kick drum is nice and deep in the sub range, and the bass line is nice and like bigger in the upper part of the sub or the low mids. So I don't feel any conflict of kick and sub in your track right here. I love how the synths and the vocals work together. Hi-hat almost feels a little bit crunchy. So Scott, let me know where you're at with the low end on this track. Are you happy with how this sounds? Because it feels good to me, and I'm curious what you're hearing or what you think you want differently with like the bump. Yeah, Matt, I like the low end in this one. The vocal echo, nice and spacey in the background. It's like a simple vocal that is interesting and doesn't grab too much of your attention. It just kind of floats in there. I actually feel like the track is ending too soon. I could totally hear 5 minutes of this. Do, do, do. That low note is a G. Ooh, and there is another low G around the 50s. Let's just go back a little bit. Okay, good. I got your comment. Overall, pushing for a cleaner, more defined sound. I really like this mix. This sounds like a track that would come up on Spotify or something. The mid-range is balanced with the vocals and synths. High frequencies feel a little crispy and actually very clear with the delay on the vocal, the background effects, and the drums coming through in the highs. And the lows are clear, so I actually think you're getting in a pretty good space right now with a simple, clear mix. You can hear every element. There's a wide stereo field, and all the levels are balanced. Just for fun, let's just do a little comparison back to version 1. Right away, I hear the synths are bigger in the front and almost like phase, like shwow. Let's skip through it. Deep low-hi house vibe. I love it. I love the vibe. British kind of accent in the vocal. That was a good idea to take out those double bumps because the kick had kind of a flam, like Buddha. Like they were a little too close. Yeah, that double kick, I think it was a good idea to remove that. All good decisions. So removing the double kick drum, taking down the synth a little bit, the pad. I'm not sure what updates you did on the bass line, but so far I think it's pretty solid. The bass it almost feels like there's a stereo thing happening in the bass. I'm not sure. Let me go in mono here. I don't think you need any more sub bass range in that bass line. It's working really well the way it is. So the main thing this track needs is another 2 minutes of groove. Just kind of keep doing what you're doing. Maybe make a longer build up and give us some more of that one. And that'll be working really well. So let's check out PR23 going in the techno direction. New one. Reworked the last track, removed a heavy bass line, Acid took it a new direction. So let's see what we got. I like that kick drum coming in. Nice comment from Etienne. All right, bass is mono below 120. All right, good. And then that means there is some stereo widening in the bass in the mid-range. That's sort of what I felt like. I like the double claps. Clean so far. Kick and synths. I'm gonna turn my headphones up. Maybe I'll bring up the broadcast level too. I like that high frequency sound in there. Nice sound design right there. Tweaking some knobs. Good sound design. Okay, this new sound coming in at 149. Now it actually sounds like a different record is getting mixed in. We're really splitting off to a new idea that I wasn't quite ready for that, but let's see where it goes. Yeah, cymbal is too harsh, Matt. I hear you on the high frequency thing. Or 7K or yeah. Sounds like a resonator on some drums. Kind of not sure how we got here, but I like the place where the track is at right now. I'm gonna try a little low end EQ. Now that the kick came back. With this kind of track, I could feel the kick drum even being bigger. I like all the effect sweeps and everything. Before we play the rest, I want to just go back to 149. It was sort of unexpected when that sound came in. I'm trying to find how did it grow in to make that sound enter. And then, wow, wow, wow. I love all the knob tweaks and everything happening with the effects in here. I think the kick drum could be up a little bit louder. And wow, wow, wow. 7.2 kilohertz. We're gonna do a little volume editing on that sound. Or notch EQ on your drum group if you like the tone of that sound, but you gotta watch out for that. Yeah, Matt, I agree. This track could be split with that other synth idea being kind of a separate thing. And the main track for me feels like this really groovy, deep bass thing with some effects tweaks happening, and that's enough. Like, it doesn't have to have a kind of harmonic synth layer going somewhere else. Ooh, that metallic scraping sound. That almost sounds like an industrial kind of cymbal slash, like, be careful with those high frequency drum sounds. I like the rhythm that's kind of like dum baka duka, dum baka duka, dum baka duka. That's what's carrying the track for me. And a nice ending. This sound here, there was a big bump around 260 hertz. It was a little too big for a while. Yeah, so right around here, that riser is good. You know what, after I hear the end of the track and I'm kind of used to it, this part doesn't strike me as odd. But beforehand, it felt like more of a deep bass kind of a track. So compositionally, it's kind of an oozing thing that goes through a few different sections. And please watch out for that 7.2K. Like this right here is so deep and heavy. I'm gonna put the bass EQ up a little bit again. Great sound design, cool things. Bow, bow. Nice swing right here too, right? This part where there's a lot of resonator and it's kind of chirping, maybe that's the part that felt kind of like an extra layer. And now that resonator takes over and it's sort of interesting. I would hit those claps with a ton more reverb. Right there at 322, there was a reverb burst. I like when that clap gets a big reverb on it. You know, it could exist as one track with a little bit of mix changing. It kind of does flow, and after you hear it, it's like, oh, it makes sense that those resonators and harmonic kind of rhythms are fitting together with the whole beat. So I gotta say, I do like the deep, heavy bass part without too much of the resonator thing. When it gets really metallic-y and like chunk, 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 that can kind of take over the mid area a little too much. But this stuff is cool. It's just a clean bass, like. So my overall thing, and this is a pretty universal comment, is a track has a dominant rhythm that's the groove. It's like the whatever that track is doing, dung, 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 something like that. So whatever layers you have smearing around and oozing in and out, it's totally cool for them to change kind of slowly and have it be like not like a defined thing of when a sound is changing, but the dominant rhythm of the song should be clear as one thing so that you're just kind of in that groove. And if you have sounds that are coming in that are changing that overall rhythm, that's where it's like, okay, that's a different idea where those rhythms go in a new direction. That should be a different mix with different harmonic content and stuff. I think that's how I would split that out. But that's overall is pretty cool. It doesn't need a lot of work, and it's playable and listenable. So let's see the Canada Techno update. And sorry I missed the feedback last week. Something popped up and I was like, ugh, I couldn't get on. Subtle edits to the main ARP lead, mid EQ, took out some of the high pressure, added a drum fill, tightened up the mix. Is it final? And my EQ is flat, stereo width. I like that synth coming in. Bringing down the bass to, what's that, an F? Again, kick drum and sub, low bass, working pretty well. I like that clicky thing on top of the synth. That's really working. Nice. Dude, your tracks are sounding great right now. That clicky tick kind of feel in the percussion is so good. It's almost like a scraping kind of sound. Really nice percussion layering. Okay, hold on. I don't want to talk over the vocals. I was about to say the vocal comes in really nicely just around 1,000 hertz frequency range and fits on top of the synth. So I want to hear the vocal come in again. And I wasn't expecting a verse at this point in the track, but it's okay that it happened. Beautiful, beautiful. I want to point out something that's working really well. Before the vocal comes in, there's this clap that's kind of knocking with like an echo. It's like, and that's filling up a lot of space. It's great. It fits really well with the drums. Notice what happens to that snare clap kind of thing when the vocal happens, all right? Hear that? The snare tap is big right up to here. And then that snare drops out. That's awesome. Yeah, man. And that synth is kind of answering the vocal. kind of a call and response with the vocal and the synth. I love that arrangement. That is such good structure. Nice stereo width on the synth. And the way you mix this synth right here with the vocal, super nice. And there we go with the words describing what happens to the sound. I think this one is done, man. I'm pulling out some fun recipes that are good to use. I don't hear anything I would want to change. Agents of Time. Yes. I guess that snare clap sound could be a little lower, or that rhythm could for me be less often. Like, hey Ben, how you doing? I'm gonna review some of your tracks, so if you gotta catch them on replay, they'll be there for you. Yeah, I like the other clap. It's just a simple backbeat pop. Scott, I think you're done, man. This is working really well. Let's ride it out, see where it goes. Yes. Dub a little bit of the vocal. I like the build-up. A little pitch bend in the Canada style. This is nice, man. It's still building. Okay, I'm gonna do a creative suggestion. I would put in a global high-pass filter on the master right here. So what I just did was at 4:30, 4 minutes 30, on the board, I cut the low EQ when the pitch was rising up and the synth was getting the that washy, like, it's like a release time getting longer, that kind of thing. During that phase, I would do a bit of a high-pass filter on the whole mix to get rid of some of the lows right in there, just to make it more dramatic when the kick drum comes back in. Now, this is not a problem. It's not like wrong that it's missing, but for me, I'm feeling like, what would I do creatively if I was playing this track? And I thought that would be a fun thing. Let's just hear that one more time. I'll leave the board alone. Like right around here, high-pass filter. So the whole track goes up in the air. And then when it comes back down, lower the filter so it drops again, if you want to. Oh, am I getting too loud on the mic? I'm like leaning in, getting excited. And I really like that ride cymbal now on top. Percussion feels fresh, even at 5 minutes. This ending groove is amazing. Now we're mixing in a new record on top. And the record stopped. That's great. Scott, get some claps. How loud is my mic going when I'm talking right up close on there? Hey, check. Yeah, okay. Dude, Scott, that track is amazing. I had one suggestion about maybe high-pass filtering at 4.5 minutes during that build-up so that as the pitch is rising, you remove the low frequencies and make the music feel like it's kind of going up in the air, and then the drop can be heavier when the bass comes back down. If you want, that's just a creative suggestion for me. So, really nice one. And the ending groove. That whole ticky thing, the vocal echo. It's a great mix. This track is graduating. So I think you're done. I'm gonna put in the big D. Paradoxically, the big D has more E's than D's, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Ben's here. Let's murmur with murmurations and check EQ flat. Let me know if I should turn up the broadcast level on this track. That's looking pretty loud for me. Nice and wide. Change log, tone down the clicky kick and snappy clap. Oh wow, Scott, Trent Moeller remix with Trent Moeller Royksop remix. Okay, teasing in the bassline changes. Tom fills. So that bass synth does sound pretty big right now, I gotta say. I'm gonna check mono real quick. Clicky kick and the snappy clap. Filters moving. I like those little toms. It's like the Casio. Oh, is that the one with the saturation on it? Hold on, a minute 39. .139 could have a cymbal crash. Just mark that moment. I like this dark ARP lead happening here. Wow. I like that new disco peep thing. Pew, pew, pew. That's a really cool sound. I think the bassline synth can come down a little bit and the kick drum up a little bit relative to each other. Let me give some low EQ on here. This track, I could really feel a boomy kick. The bass line is good in the buzzy part, but the lower part is like sort of filling up the body of the kick drum, in my opinion. Hear that wash? Oh, you got me in the breakdown. I was expecting a kick drum drop again. Nice. Great sound. Is that some flanger happening down here? That synth is a little peaky, around 800 or 900. So the synth that feels like a kind of vocal emulation that, watch out around 800 or 900 hertz on that layer. It's combining with the bass and kind of stacking up a bit around 1K or below 1K. Yeah, right in here from 700 up to 1,000. 780. Even those mid-range ones that are around 800 or 900 can feel like a high frequency in your ear when they're peaking like that, so I would watch out for those. Now the lead is kind of murky and muffled. It sounds really good. Great groove. Check out, check out. Effects layering up. Those toms are amazing. Where's Phil Collins? I can feel it coming in the tom fill tonight. Really nice flow, a lot of build-ups and drops and mini peaks traveling through. I like it that the bass line got a little bit of a low pass at that section as the riser high frequency things are happening. The bass line gets a little bit muffled right there, which is a cool thing. Like bring down the bass frequencies to make space for the higher rises. That stereo field in the toms is awesome. Now the open hi-hat, yeah. Now we're kind of riding through the ending. Okay, Matt wants a little bit more of those mid-range percussion. Awesome. There's a rhythm in this riser thing that's going that's really cool right here. Excellent. That delay carrying over. Yeah, Ben, the only problem I'm having in this whole track is the mid-range frequencies of that synth pad that sounds like a vocal. Just watch out from 700 up to 900 that it doesn't get too many of those peaks that feel like... Now right here, the kick sounds good with the bass. So earlier, I guess I was saying that some of the bass line was a little too big relative to the kick. Let me just roll back. Like right in here, when the kick and bass are together, the kick does not feel like it has so much thump. I know it's there, but at the ending, are all those kick drums exactly the same, or is there a velocity difference on different ones? Well, when the kick drum is by itself and it sounds big, then it sounds... So I'm wondering if you have any master channel compression happening or something where when the mix is full of all the sounds, is it getting hit with any master compressors or limiters? Because I do notice that at the ending, the kick feels like beautiful and big by itself, and then it loses some of that thump when the full track is in there. So that could be a problem of having the whole mix compressed or something. But anyway, those are my opinions. Let's move on. That track is going to be done on version 3. Amazing sound design. What I like the best is that the flow is like there's all these little mini buildups and like climaxes and peaks and things with sound swelling and coming and going. Really good sound design and transition stuff happening. So nice job on that. Let's go down to, there was also, I think, an update on this one. Let's play through. The hardest part is not knowing V2. Okay, Ben, ozone mastering, limiters, etc. Yeah, I think that's what I'm hearing with the kicks. So that's something you could easily undo that and put out a pre-master version to get mastered later and not have that problem. There's that ping on the top kick drum that I like. Change the sub notes to follow the bass notes. I think we might have played this before, but I want to refresh on this. Yeah, the elements are definitely flowing in and out. That's really nice. Scotty getting surgical. Nice crescendo moment. I remember this bass line before. That's a definite improvement to change the notes like that. Yeah, Matt, I think the, yeah. Bass line variation thing. Nice, yes. Now it all holds together where the sub and the bass, like the whole bass thing is like one unit working together. Huh. I see what you were saying about making a deeper like house version. This does have kind of that synthwave feel with the clicky kick drum and the synth pattern on top. But there's nothing wrong with this version. This is cool. Is that really 125? Oh yeah. You got those swells and sweeps really working at the transitions. I like that a lot. New part coming in. Yeah, do two versions because this version is cool by itself and it fits with a lot of your other tracks. And the Canada remix, yeah. I like that bass line on the upbeat so much. That totally works. Those claps. This is really good. The flow and the arrangement are very interesting. They keep changing. A-side, B-side remix. Wait, what was that little... I want to hear that build up again. There was a little like flap thing that was like right at the end of that build up at the drop. There was like a little kind of double thing. It sounded like... Did you hear that at 407? It's like, not quite sure what it was. It doesn't really sound bad. It just sort of sounded like, what was that? Yeah, what I would hear for this in a deep house remix is like totally change the kick drum to get a deeper, like rounder one. Keep the bass line pattern and the melody, and then change all the hi-hats and claps and stuff to just make a different presentation of the idea. It totally feels deep, like don't. What did I say? At 139, maybe a cymbal crash. Was that this track or the one before? I forget. Let's see how we get out to the ending. Oh, the reverse cymbal. So that was that like the very attack part of the like the end of the reverse cymbal where you would have the original attack. That sounds like what that would be. Not a major problem. I like the little like ticka. Very cool. And a nice tail on the ending. Great track. Version 2 is playable, so that one's going to be done pretty soon also. Matt Schultz. We're going to do some dub techno. Okay, Ben, deeper version, tried 808 drums, different spacier bass line, and more of a housey kick. Yeah, those are all good suggestions to get to that vibe. The disco-tinged version. Yeah, exactly. Put it up in 16-bar loops. That's a perfect place to put up sketch ideas of how to just like arrange a different version. So Matt, do you want to do anything with the Within version 1? I don't think I reviewed that one yet, so let's put it on and check it out. 8 minutes. Go get a cup of coffee. No, I'm kidding. And let me know while we're here, what do you guys think about doing Discord meetups in the voice channel and not being on YouTube at all for meetups? I would like to see more people's screens. I know Alex B is interested in doing that, seeing some of your sessions, and possibly like Ben with a track like this, if you could have a studio prep and be ready to like screen share and show us a session in a voice hangout, maybe we could hear some of the ideas and actually talk through options live, like prep a session with a bunch of different drums and alternate beats, and then you could play them and mute and unmute the layers, and we could be like, yeah, that one sounds right, that one doesn't sound right, and kind of do some tone shaping and sound design together on Discord. That would be fun for me to have our weekly Friday thing be kind of like a group hangout to, I don't know, give everybody 10 minutes to play a track and we all talk about it and actually hear the track from an Ableton session on your side rather than from a SoundCloud link. Could be fun. All right, Within. Vocal, looking for comments on vocals and drum mix. Nice timestamps from Scott. Matt, I've been using that tip a lot where you take the delay time on the echo plugin and just boost the left channel like plus 2% swing and the right channel minus 2%. So the right and left echoes are just pushed a little bit over time. That is such a good trick. Gotta calibrate my head to dub techno mixing. The drums, first off, they feel a little like the percussion is a little too quiet after listening to Ben and Scott. But I know this is a different genre, so that's okay. No, those snare taps are too quiet. That little those little rim shots are too quiet relative to the ride bell or triangle, whatever it is. Exactly, right there at 220 we can hear those. Exactly right there at 218. Those little taps, please, those could be louder and it would be totally cool. Oh, I love the white noise swell. Could be an ocean wave, could be the wind, I don't know. For Matt's music, that the high frequency stuff sounds like if the wind is blowing a newspaper, like a piece of paper across the ground and it's kind of going, I sort of get these images of that kind of thing. Oh, I like this synth a lot. We have the classic low-end bloom. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It sounds like the extra sub bass note, doop boop boop, is a little louder than the kick bomb. Also hand percussion louder. Not make it like a jack and house track, but just
see living forms,
a little louder.
living amoeba, almost animal-like creatures. You will see continents being formed. The earth itself coming into
I think that
existence.
vocal could be a little bit louder. I'm gonna go to the mid-range and just add some EQ here. I'm gonna rewind back to the vocal and boost the mid-range EQ. Yeah, definitely hand drums louder. Still at EQ flat.
You will see living forms, living amoeba,
Boost.
almost animal-like creatures. You will see continents being formed. The earth itself coming into existence.
Flat. Boost. Flat. Boost. That's around 1.5 or 2K. And
You can see all this and watch it before your eyes. Everything owes its existence solely and completely to sound.
everything in the track gets better with that 2K boost. The hand drum slap, the little the upper mid part of that synth, and the vocals. So
Sound is a factor which holds it together.
okay, Scott, hand drum feels clicky, not deep enough. That's a great comment. Make them rounder. So that would mean those hand drums are probably going to be good at 250 or 275 hertz. That same frequency that makes a kick drum feel kind of boxy can make congas and stuff feel really good. So maybe bring that up, like the bottom end of the hand drums can be louder. The tambourine feels good. Let me boost up in that low mid area. Well, it's hard to pull up the hand drums without boosting the synth too much, but Scott, I think you're right about that. Well, Matt, you could get away with master channel EQ in the mid-range. Yeah, I think it did sound better. Nice wide Q, a nice gentle boost. I'll do that again. Let me see if I can get an accurate frequency for you. Yeah, like 1.5K. It kind of just brightens up the whole mids and makes it feel like expanded. All right, Scott, thanks for hanging out. Great tracks, man. Keep it going. And AFL, John, congratulations on your new release. It's always nice to see you guys putting out music.
Sound is the basis, form, and shape.
So Matt, the synth group and everything is good. The basic things I would do are the hand drums louder, the rim shot louder, vocal a little bit louder, and then
was a word. The word was gone.
see if you want to do maybe a mid-range boost on your instrument group.
How creation took shape.
And that little ride bell could come down a little bit relative to the other drums. Just get the drum mix kind of balanced a
Put that
bit.
into the modern idiom and say that into the great voids of space came a sound.
Put some echo on the word space, space, space. Wait, let's see what...
Voids of space came a sound. Matter took shape.
Perfect vocal effect. You know what I forgot to try? I'm going to take the low end EQ down and raise the volume. EQ cut. Oh, that synth is great. Doop, 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 doop. And back to flat. One more time. What was that little bouncing around? Right there. 725. Badoop, 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 badoop. That sound is super cool. So I hope these comments are useful. I don't want to tweak the dub techno genre too much. I just do really feel like the percussion was just kind of too quiet, especially when the tambourine and the ride bell were so loud. The rest of the drums were a little bit too far back in the mix. And the ramp out ending with some spacey sound. Great job. Yeah, a couple minor tweaks and that one's going to be done. So AFL, do we have the link in new releases? I'm not sure if that's in there. Maybe not. And there was some cool plugin news about the Korg, the Roland keyboard that Scott put in. Wasn't there a Roland competition for the new... No, I mean a Rhodes competition. Maybe not. Abstract Pro. Visual browser. That's weird. I saw it on my phone, but... All right. Well, anyway. So, Ben, Matt sound really great. Oh, you're getting off. All right. All right. Yeah, percussion vocal up, cymbal down a little, master EQ in the mids. Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, Scott mentioned it. Okay, so John, you were putting out some teasers. You didn't post it yet. Where is that freaking Rhodes, like the something V8? They put out a competition to use that sample in a track, or use that instrument in a track, and then win an actual Rhodes instrument. Yeah. I swear I thought it was in... Oh, there it is. Missing keys with the Rose Mark 8. Competition to use this instrument in a track and then win an actual thing. That would be kind of cool. Let's go to that link and just see what happens. Missing keys competition. Accept cookies.
Let sparks fly and get back in the game again. Can you even begin to pretend that old name still has the same domain? Yeah, can you branch out with a new tribe and still stick with the pack? Can we sustain the same vibe knowing we can never go back? Can you retain that singular train track vision whilst everything you thought made you is stripped away and glossed over with pristine is that sound itself has...
So you're making a track with that vocal? Is that the idea of that? Production talk. Very first Rhodes virtual instrument. To the new Rhodes film. And then runners up win the bundle. Soundtrack a short film. Huh. Multi-sampled version. That's cool. I wonder how big it is. A couple gigs maybe. Submit a track. Unlock the trial version. Oh my God, I want to fill it in. All right, cool. So that's going to be it for track feedback and Hangouts today. I am super curious about doing Hangouts in Discord, mainly because I want to see some other sessions from you guys and hear them and possibly get more involved with making edits live. Like if you could prep a session where you have some questions about an A-B or like two different sounds to compare or like a volume level or something that we could look at in the song structure, it might be fun to screen share and talk in Discord and hang out over there. So let's see about that and maybe have that going as a production group thing in Discord rather than just me doing a one-way thing in YouTube. I'm curious if anybody would be interested in that. I guess I should make a post and ask more people who are not here. So that's it for now. Thanks so much for hanging out. This is the end of Friday feedback. I'm going to get straight back into that track I was just working on and see what happens with that. Let me know if you have any questions. You always know where to find me. Matt, scoring out of your limits? Totally not. Just do a total dub techno mix with the Rhodes on there. And they'll be like, oh, interesting. Oh, John, okay, I see that. I like the idea of Discord Hangouts. Yeah, it could be really fun. I mean, it's a different tech setup where you have to hook up for yourself to get Ableton running with Ableton Audio and then your camera with your mic. But that could be a great place to use the Listen To plugin from Audio Movers. I've been doing that on some Zoom calls where we have just like, we actually went to Discord when Zoom crashed and had Discord for vocals and for our voices and cameras. And then we used the Listen To plugin to transmit audio from live, where you get a perfect audio quality with no latency from Ableton. And then the vocal, I mean, doesn't matter if your voice sounds like crap. So that could be fun. Yeah, John, you'd be doing it in headphones at the office, right? Cool. All right, later, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend. I'll see you next week and in Discord. Bye-bye.